Hi, I'm Tiffany. Welcome to Towering TBR. If you're new here, I am chronically ill and disabled. I read a wide variety of books, and every month I play a TBR game to help me choose what I'm going to read in the following month. Last month I pulled 070, a middle grade fantasy, and for that I read Like a Charm by Elle McNichol. Check. I also pulled 072, Read a Banned Book, and for that I read Mouse by Art Spiegelman. Check. And lastly, I pulled N35, Read a Bill Dung's Roman, and for that I reread Boy Swallows Universe by Trent Dalton. Check. Yay! So that's really exciting. I have completed my bingo board. As such, I am allowed to buy 5 new books, which is very exciting. I pre-ordered Kitty by Elle McNichol. This is kind of a prequel to A Kind of Spark, which I read last year and really loved. I'm also pre-ordering Cascade Failure by L.M. Saugus. This is a sci-fi that has been compared to Becky Chambers, and I just can't wait to try it. And I'm also going to get The Exvangelicals by Sarah McCammon. This is a nonfiction book, part memoir, part investigative journalist about people leaving the evangelical church. So excited about those 3 pre-orders. I also decided to get 2 audiobooks that I couldn't get at the library. I got The Will of the Many and Burnham Wood. We have a new board, and the roll cart is full of lots of prompts now. Before I roll, I am going to mention some books that are going to make it whether they fit in the prompts or not. I'm going to be reading Burnham Wood with Audrey from Audrey Approved. This is our 5th buddy read, and she's not sick of me yet. So I am really excited to read this with her in March. I'm hoping to find a prompt that it'll fit, but if not, it will go on top. I also have an arc called Calypso by Oliver K. Langmead that I'm going to prioritize reading. This is a science fiction book, and the reason I got very excited was because Sarah Waters blurbed it. And Sarah Waters is one of my favorite authors. It's a generation ship, and our protagonist wakes up, and there has been a war between the engineers and the botanists. Lastly, I'm also still reading books from the BookTube Prize. Keep your eyes peeled in April, because that's when I should be posting my vlog, giving you all of my thoughts on those 6 books that I've read. Roll 1. I got G47, a middle grade. Okay. Okay, for that, I have an interlibrary loan out that I would like to prioritize. This is Bug Boys, the third volume called Adventures and Daydreams. This is a middle grade graphic novel about these 2 beetles. These are basically just little adventures that these 2 friends go on, and it's very wholesome and light and wonderful. And, you know, my slump continues, so I'm going to try and put happy stuff on my list. Roll 2. I-23, a translated book. Be right back. Okay, so I have narrowed it down to 2 choices. The first has been a contender before, I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. This is a dystopian sci-fi about women who are living in cages underground, and I think they escape. I'm not really sure. And then I also, this is translated from the French. I also have Devotion of Suspect X by Keigo Higashino. This is translated from Japanese. And I'm pretty sure this is a whodunit. It's a mystery where we know who the culprit is, but we don't understand the reasons, and we slowly, find out. So both sound really interesting and really captivating. If you have a preference, put it down, because right now I just want to read both. But I think this has been on my list several times before. I think I am going to prioritize it, and this is officially on my TBR. Roll 3. Oh67, a mystery or thriller. Well, I know at least one possibility. So I just mentioned that this is kind of a thriller mystery. Why did they do what they did? But I also realized Burnham Wood is also supposed to be like an eco-thriller. And since I already really want to read this, I think I'm going to have to choose Burnham Wood for this prompt. I'm glad it came up. All right, last roll. G52, which is an owned audiobook. That is awesome because, well, I could have picked Burnham Wood for this one too, but let's see what my other options are. I decided I want to go with Trouble with Lichen by John Wyndham. I'm trying to read authors that made my favorites list, and so picking up another John Wyndham just sounds great. These are modern classic science fiction stories, and this one is about a lichen, I think, that gets discovered and has some sort of like anti-aging property, and I think there's some insights on what capitalism does and the beauty industry, and just sounds really interesting. So I'm going to be adding that on top. I am liking how this TBR turned out. Remember, I also have Calypso as my arc, so those are going to be 5 of the books I'll be reading in March. How do you choose what you're going to read? Do you do any TBR games or random chance or anything like that? I'd love to hear about it in the comments down below. Let's have a chat down there. Thank you so much for joining. Bye.